video, we will explore registering the TriCaster and setting up the system through the administrator mode. We will cover updating the system and accessing display and networking features. The first time you run the TriCaster, you will want to register it. To register the TriCaster 8000, use the icon ring on the home page and choose Shutdown. Then choose Administrator mode. When you launch the TriCaster, you may be presented with a warning. This warning will happen if any other software besides the TriCaster software has been installed onto the system. It will warn you and tell you what those software packages are. If you just want to continue and get into the TriCaster, hit the Continue button and you'll continue on into the TriCaster interface. If you hit Restore, this will restore the TriCaster back to its factory defaults and remove any of the extra software. So if you've installed software for any reason and you need to have that software on your TriCaster, you will be issued this warning each time you launch it. Go ahead and hit Continue. Now, if you experience problems with your TriCaster, you may try restoring it to remove that software to see if it is what's causing the problem. From this screen, you have access to a web browser. Now, this is useful for web browsing and working with internet streaming providers and such. This is not meant for casual web browsing. Remember, the TriCaster is a turnkey system, not a computer. So always use an external computer for anything that is not directly related to the TriCaster's production. The Files button opens up a standard Windows Explorer window for use in manually moving files on and off the TriCaster. Next, you have the Register TriCaster option. Now, you will need two things to register: the serial number and the product ID. The serial number is found on your TriCaster here. If you didn't write it down earlier when we discussed it, write it down and keep it handy. When you click on the registration button, you are shown the registration panel. At the top, you will see the product ID. Write this down along with the serial number so you have them both handy. The easiest way to register the TriCaster is to have it connected to the internet. Plug in an Ethernet cable with an active internet connection here. Then simply click here and follow the prompts. At the end of the process, you're given an unlock code. Write this down with the product ID and serial number and keep them in a safe place. The unlock code is entered here to complete the registration process and remove the watermark from the output of the TriCaster. Now, if the TriCaster does not have internet access, you can go to another computer that has internet access and go to this web page to register. If you have no internet access at all, you can call support services with your serial number and product ID and talk to a rep who can generate an unlock code for you over the phone. Remember, web registration can happen 24/7, but support services is only open from 8:30 a.m. to 7 p.m. Central Standard Time for phone support. Next, we have the icon for updating the TriCaster from the internet. If you registered, you will be notified via email that an update is available. Make sure that the TriCaster is hooked up to the internet and click the Update button to download and install the update. Next, we have a button for defragging your hard drives. As you record and delete files from a hard drive, it can become fragmented over time. This can slow down the drive's access time, making it lose performance and lose the speed needed for multi-stream video playback. This utility will allow you to defragment any drive attached to the system, giving it better performance. As you use the TriCaster, it is possible to add custom content like live sets from the virtual set editor and apply updates to the system over time. This information is all saved to the C drive. Now, if your C drive has issues or becomes corrupt, you could lose all custom content and updates that were applied. TriCaster 8000 allows you to periodically create images of the C drive with your additions and updates so you have a full backup of the system that you can restore to. Now, this process should be done when custom content is added like virtual sets or you have done a software update. Otherwise, you will have to reinstall any added software and any updates if they're not part of your C drive backup. The system backup and restore feature is something that you will want to have help with doing, at least the first time. Performing a restore does not erase any content from the media drives, but it does erase content from the C drive. Now, this is a technical process. The backup of the system drive is unique to each TriCaster. If you own more than one machine, you should make a separate backup drive for each machine. Please refer to the manual or contact your reseller or new tech support services for advice on using this feature. You also have access to a command prompt for the system here. Next is the settings area. Here you have access to several control panels. First, you can adjust the region and language for the system. This only changes the text in any of the Windows requesters. It does not change the interface text in the TriCaster itself. You have control over the keyboard variables as well. Next, you can set the system time and date. Now, this is important because when you record, if you're not using LTC timecode, you will be stamping the recording with the time of day, and you will want to make sure that this is accurate. Next is the network configuration panel, allowing you access to network setup and control. And finally, you have access to the display controls for setting up primary and secondary monitors and adjusting them. Click on the display button. If you have two monitors plugged in, hit the detect button so the system sees them. Then hit identify, and large numbers will appear on the monitors showing which is the main monitor display 1 and which is the multi-viewer 2. You can now switch the monitors by clicking on either monitor and the display requester, and then click Make this my main display. If the selected monitor is already the main display, it will tell you this. Also, from the main administrator menu, you can swap primary monitor with this button, and this will simply swap the main UI monitor and the multi-viewer. Finally, you have the options to exit to Windows or go back to the TriCaster. Now, even though the TriCaster runs on Windows, you don't want to treat it like a computer. It is a turnkey system made to do what it does. Don't try to use it for other computer-related tasks like casual web browsing, email, instant messaging, and such. Only install software made for the TriCaster. Now, some third-party software, such as Adobe Flash Live Media Encoder, is pre-installed. Do not try to update these packages, and do not try to do Windows updates manually. It is quite likely that doing so will have unintended results. We will include these updates in a TriCaster update when needed. Virus and malware protection applications can dramatically impact system performance. You should always take sensible precautions to avoid introducing infected files into TriCaster by rigorously virus checking media you plan to connect or import beforehand. Have a laptop handy with full protection on it, and attach any USB drive or media you intend on attaching to the TriCaster to find any problems before you connect. If you really feel you must install virus protection, switch all active scanning operations off. Then, only when you need to do so, perhaps on a daily or weekly schedule, perform a manual scan. Now, regarding additional codecs, the TriCaster supports the vast majority of popular image, audio, and video formats. If a file you would like to use does not play back well or at all, please convert it using the TriCaster's import media feature instead of trying to install other codecs onto the system. Loading unknown codecs to the TriCaster can impact system performance negatively.